There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, baby? You doing good?
I'm good. I just realized how big of an opportunity I blew this past weekend. Like now that I see the Purple Rain shirt on me, I was in Minnesota. I was on Lake Minnetonka. This would have been quality content, and I left the damn shirt in Miami. Didn't even think about it.
What, you wanted to do like something at Lake Minnetonka, like some Prince type shit or something? Is that what you're trying?
I'll have you know, I went on a dinner cruise with my boy and his family and a couple of our friends on Lake Minnetonka. And I asked, so where did Apollonia purify herself? Where is it? And they looked at me like I was speaking Latin.
Oh, why? They were all young?
No. I'm not going to say it, but you know. Like
They were lame? Is that what you're just saying?
Not lame. Not lame, just maybe not the target audience of that movie, I guess. I thought everybody liked Purple Rain.
Don't start with white people on that one. We're strong on Prince and Purple Rain. Bro, at Hialeah High, home of Cubans, okay? All right? Because of Prince that year, we unleashed a 10,000 cubic feet smoke bomb in the cafeteria and started a food fight. Okay? Yeah, folks at Hialeah, I am part of it. I was guilty. You ain't doing shit to me now. Okay? Yeah, I was part of releasing the oiled pig during the pepper rally. Yes, that was us. Yes, we glued the locks to the doors all over the school. Crazy glue. Yes! Anyway.
I said is
I was a hellraiser, by the way. No, seriously. In honor of Prince and Purple Rain, we had a choice of different color smoke bombs, and the Army smoke bomb that we bought was a purple one just for Prince. How about that?
I thought there would have been like a plaque. Honestly, like I thought there would be a plaque. There would be like a known spot, like this is where they filmed Purple Rain. I has me questioning everything. All I know is I should have brought this shirt. I messed up. I'll wear that. That's my bad.
Yeah. No, I think we should change the city's name from Minnesota to, just Prince. Prince. That's it. Name the city instead of Minnesota, Prince. That's all. Something like that. You got it. That's. I mean, really, what is Minnesota known for outside of Prince?
Lakes.
Losing a bunch of Super Bowls and lakes? No, you don't want to hang on to that. You want to hang on to Prince. So I'm with you there. And by the way, Apollonia. Oof,
did they lose a bunch of Super Bowls, or did they lose a bunch of NFC Championship games?
No, four. 4 Super Bowls. 1 Joe Cap and 3 Fran Tarkenton. So one of them was to the Miami Dolphins. Another one was to the Dallas Cowboys. Another one was to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe. And somebody helped me out there, which was the 4th one too. So yeah. So Miami did get one of them on them overall. Might have been
he was what's it called? Prince is from. My bad. I was looking up just to make sure Prince was actually from Minneapolis. He is from Minneapolis.
Oh no, yeah.
I was expecting big murals everywhere.
Yeah,
all this.
Yeah.
I didn't personally see it. I didn't go looking that hard, but I didn't personally see it. You know what I mean?
That's kind of weak sauce.
I've seen more messy murals in Miami than Prince murals in Minneapolis, and that's not right.
Right. No, I'm with you there. All right, let's go over some practice. What do we know about Waddle? If it's anything serious, I mean, he was walking on his own power, but who knows if it's some kind of little stinger or something on the side. What's the deal?
Right midsection. I wouldn't expect him to play tomorrow. It would seem like a weird risk for Mike McDaniel to use. Plus, he has been excellent throughout practice. I don't think you really need to see a whole lot from him. Maybe a couple snaps, couple series from him and Tyreek later on in the preseason. I just wouldn't expect to see Jalen Waddle tomorrow night. We'll find out the official word from the Dolphins tomorrow. But, he looked like he was in pain, but he got right up under his own power, right midsection, and walked directly into the locker room. We didn't see him for the rest of the day. Again, it's early in preseason. Preseason hasn't technically even started yet. It's early in the summer. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. And unless somehow he shattered his ribs and was able to walk somewhat comfortably that whole way to the locker room. I don't see it, but I don't want to speculate on things that we don't have a confirmation on. Who else got hurt? Alec Ingold left practice early yesterday, and there's one more that I'm forgetting, but those two are the big ones right there.
I think the other is.
I think Justin Bethel actually got hurt.
Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson also with the fingers.
And Jeff Wilson.
With the
it's
hand.
just going to pave the way for Devon Achane. This is why you draft. This is why you have a deep running back room right now. It would be, and Raheem Mostert also did not practice yesterday. He was there dressed, but did not participate. I would expect a good dose of Devon Achane this preseason. That should be something that all Dolphins fans are looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I would imagine Mostert and Wilson aren't going to play. I mean, none of the starters are going to play. The only reason I thought maybe you'd play Tua for one series is for the offensive line. But the only problem I have with that is I know you're not going to play Teron Armstead. So if you're not going to play Teron Armstead, then, maybe you don't play, Tua. If you play Teron Armstead, then you can go out there and try Tua a little bit. But, like quick passes, just to kind of get a feel for the line. But here's the problem that I've been, as you amass information, your opinions and your viewpoints change. I don't think I need to see game one and see Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg. I kind of know what it is already, and it hasn't changed. And so I'm more like, let's get to Kendall Lamb at right tackle and Isaiah Wynn at left guard, please. Come on, enough already. Let's move on from these experiments. These guys are backups, if anything. They're not starter material. There's just no consistency there for it. And that's why I've kind of changed my tune on, what? Maybe yesterday I was like, maybe you play Tua a little bit. I can understand why you don't have to play him now.
This offense, the first team offense, needs some snaps before the end of the preseason. I will say that. I think that there's much ado about nothing in terms of this offense struggling throughout training camp. I think it's more cohesion than anything. Like, yeah, it's the same system. And yes, Tua knows it very well, but he still hasn't taken live reps since December. He hasn't played with Teron Armstead since December, November. They haven't played with that top 5 offensive line since September. And honestly, it's a different top 5 now. So it's never been done. So like there's some moving parts that I think need to be maybe tightened up before they go into SoFi to the team that kind of exposed them last season in the LA Chargers. I think they do need to play. And I would say I think Austin Jackson needs to play because of the overall lack of live reps that he has had since September.
Yeah, only Teron Armstead should rest. Outside of that, Connor needs to tune up his snapping. He's got to get consistent. Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson need a ton of work. And plus, you know what? We need to see if Kendall Lamb can continue to build on what he's been doing. And Isaiah Wynn yesterday was actually had a decent practice, correct?
Yeah, I want to see more of him at guard. I would love to see again Kendall Lamb as that swing backup, primary backup tackle. I don't need to see Rob Hunt. There's one more name I am forgetting.
Connor, you got to see Connor, bro.
You got to see, just because he wasn't there in the spring. It was his own accord, but he wasn't there in the spring.
And he hasn't been sharp.
Predictably, I'm going to give Connor more rope than.
For sure.
I'm going to give more leniency than I would give Eichenberg or just Eichenberg because he hasn't been there. But I've seen high-level play from Connor Williams. We have seen high-level play from Connor Williams. But, would like to see more Wynn, more Lamb, more Dan Feeney even. Like just to solidify that backup because that's the thing about offensive line. Those guys are going to get hurt. You're not going to play top 5 you're not going to play your top 5 the entire season, all 17 games. That second string needs to be sharp as well.
By the way, I do want to remind people, every team in the division has a couple of problems on the offensive line. It's like this is a problem everywhere except maybe Philadelphia and San Francisco. Practically 30 teams have 1, 2, 3 problems on the offensive line. So this is a very common problem that is going on. So I I know Dolphin fans are kind of freaking out, and you should, of course, to a certain extent. But don't think that everybody else isn't going through the same issues, okay?
Well, okay,
Everybody else is going through the same issues.
Here's the thing that people like. This is why it's a damn dog whistle argument. The like, oh my God, this whole line's going to get to a kill. They're going to get to a crush. They haven't gotten to a crush since Jesse Davis, was a turnstile against AJ Epinesa. None of those concussions last year were because it was this onslaught of pressure against them. It was Tua rolling out and extending
and holding on to the ball.
That's what kills me about these arguments. Like, and God forbid I speak out against it publicly and I'm labeled, well, that's a homer, blah 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 blah, super fan. You're just scared.
I say that all the I say it all the time.
Purveyor of truth.
Yeah,
that is my chosen profession. And the truth is, the O-line did not get to a kill last year.
And the truth is, Brandon Shell and Robert Jones did a very serviceable job at left guard and right tackle. Actually, they the other 3 spots were fine. Those 2 guys actually did a very respectable job. The running backs got 4.5 yards a carry, dude.
Yeah,
the coach didn't run enough. Tua, when he got injured, he held on to the ball. I'm with you 100% on this.
I'm not saying this O-line has 5 Pro Bowlers on it. I'm not even saying it has 2 Pro Bowlers on it. It's serviceable though. Like it will work. It's not like you said. It's not the Eagles. It's not the Niners. It's not even the Falcons. Like it's a fine offensive line. This is my 3rd season here. This is definitely the best state that it has been in. This is definitely the best state. You're coming from the bottom. That the floor is literally the bottom of the league, but they have taken incremental steps up in these past couple of years.
By the way, the line is also assisted by a very smart quarterback that should know when to get rid of the ball and could read, so it helps. Just like Marino, by the way. I know you're too young for this, but we used to talk about that line. Oh, they only allowed 12, 14, 16 sacks this year. It wasn't always the line. It was Marino that would get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. Okay, he made a decision or he got rid of it. Marino was excellent at all of that. He would not take a sack. He would not take extra hits. He would get rid of the ball quickly. And so it wasn't always the line. The quarterback helps you out too. And that's what Tua has to do also to help his offensive line be better also.
Like Tom Brady back in his Patriots days, he did have the best offensive line coach in NFL history, coaching that unit. But you and I probably could have blocked for Tom Brady because he got the ball out like that. And it's hard to hold the standard to Tom Brady like that. Obviously he's the greatest player in NFL history. But like that's the shining example of what getting that ball out rapidly can do. It's just, I know, Dolphins fans, I'm like you in the sense that when I see a false narrative, I want to combat it. I want to argue against it. I want to shut it down. But like if you see people saying this, O-line's going to get Tua killed. Like, I'm just so concerned about his long-term health and this and that. It's a lot. It's usually a dog whistle, pearl clutching. That's what I meant before. It's a pearl clutching argument where they don't actually meet it. It's just a cool thing to hop on the bandwagon and say. Because again, if you watch the Dolphins, if you paid attention to the Dolphins last year, the O-line did not get to a kill.
No.
The O-line, it's not like when he broke his ribs in 2021, and that was a direct result of a blown assignment on the offensive line. This was Matt Milano pushing him pretty far after, away from the line of scrimmage and, after he released the ball. This was him being slammed to the ground while trying to extend the play back to the middle of the field. This was him being slammed to the ground again, extending the play and trying to get a pass off against Green Bay. It wasn't like, oh man, they just sent 5 and got bull rushed, or oh man, like he just got it wasn't like that. Like that wasn't when he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it just, again, it's pearl clutching. It's pearl clutching. It's making an argument, a disingenuous argument, basically. You don't care about his health. You don't care about the state of the O-line. Like you see an NFL notify or, NFL rookie or one of these stupid ass accounts post something, an unattributed quote from something that nobody with any sort of sourcing has said. I'm sure maybe Joe at the bar down the street might have said that. That doesn't give you the right to quote it and say like and present it as like a highly trusted opinion. But people just see these damn accounts post something and then their mind just like goes wild. They don't think to like, all right, well, what are the people in Miami saying? Like, what is the beat saying? Like, what are people who are watching practice saying? Like, I'm not trying to like present myself as some self-important, aggrandized master, end all be all, but like, it's not just me. What am I saying? What is David Ferrona saying? What is Daniel Oyefusi saying? What is Joe Shad, Hal Abbott, Alan Poupar, Omar Kelly? What are all these people saying? Like, nobody wants to actually do research anymore. They just want to see like, oh, somebody did it for me. It must be true. Like, it drives me insane. It drives me insane. I had to delete my tweet from yesterday because it got a little too popping. But like, I hate seeing that shit, man. Like, it's not true. Liam Eichenberg has been bad. Yes. Austin Jackson has been up and down. Connor Williams has been not sharp. But the context matters. Austin Jackson has not played consistent football since like October. Connor Williams did not go to spring practice, and he is still ramping up. And Liam Eichenberg is just bad. But like, this offensive line is not going to get Tua killed, man. If Tua gets the ball off or he throws the ball away when in situations that call for it, none of these conversations are even happening right now.
Yeah, I think changes are coming. I really do. I think they have no choice. You cannot start the season with Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, and I think they know it in that building. So they're going to have to try something else, and hopefully, I think Lamb will be good at right tackle and Wynn at left guard. I think it'll be better options for them, and maybe those guys can maybe excel as backups. What do we know about? I'm not concerned at all. I think it's going to end up happening when it's all said and done. But do we know anything about the Christian Wilkins deal? Because I think the good thing is there's no animosity. We're not seeing what Jerry Jones was doing to Zach, and we're not watching, some of the other negotiations around the league that have kind of gotten a little bit, testy and hit walls and all that. None of that has been going on here. So something tells me that there's positive stuff being done behind the scenes. Do we know anything?
If I had to bet one way or the other, I would say something gets done before the start of the season.
So do I.
This is not something that they want to spill into the year. This is not something it's definitely not something they want to wait till after the year to figure out, because they
especially in the Wilkins camp. Especially in the Wilkins camp. They don't want to play on that final season.
No, so
nobody.
If I had to bet, I would say something. I can't give you a dollar amount or a goal line yard marker of where these negotiations are, but they are being had in good faith. They are being had respectfully. They're being had privately. Publicly, both sides are saying the right things. Like you said, it's not a Jerry Jones, Zach Martin situation where you say, well, if he's not. But also, Christian Wilkins is Zach Kent. He's not skipping like Zach Martin is. So I think that he is doing everything to show this team, like, look, man, I am not all about the money. I want my money. Like, I want that security. I want that reward for the work that I've been doing, which is natural and something he should get. But he's saying, I'm not going to let this become a distraction. I'm still going to show up. I'm going to do everything I've been doing since y'all drafted me. I'm going to be here every day. I'm going to show out. He's been probably the best Dolphins player at camp this summer. So, like, I would expect for him to be rewarded. That's what the new Dolphins are supposed to do. Yeah. The old Dolphins, the late 2010s.
Oh, they would let him go, bro, all the time.
What's that Magic Johnson meme? They're going out to some other team. Not this one. Not this. No. The new Dolphins team. Yeah. They keep their stars, draft, develop, re-sign. Step 3 coming up. And if they do not get something done, then I do fear. And
this is the wrong player to not re-sign.
I don't like doing this. I don't want to speculate on dissent, but like, I do fear it. I'm not saying I have this on source. It is my personal opinion. I do fear it turning into something bad, because this is a player who's done everything he's ever been asked. He's
For sure.
performed. He's one of the best run-stopping D tackles in the NFL. He is a team leader. He brings a certain energy, a certain dog mentality to the defense. Without him, I don't know how. Without him and without Jalen Ramsey back there, I don't know how much bite there is on this
If you don't pay him, there's no hope for anybody else in the building. And that's exactly what those players will say. Oh, this place is bullshit.
And
This
what
place sucks.
what have I been saying?
You know that. Not that it's going to happen, by the way, folks, at all. I guarantee you the Dolphins will pay Christian Wilkins. This is just a super complicated deal. And while I know they're going to give him his money, they're also going to try to protect themselves too. Year in and year out on this deal that's very complicated, the ins and the outs, the guarantees and all that, the roster bonuses and all that kind of stuff. So they like to create deals that are flexible too at the same time. So it's really hard and it's not an easy deal. So that's why I say that this kind of stuff takes time. But I am 1,000% sure this thing will get done. 1,000% sure.
It's tough because of the reason that we've discussed in the past. Like we discussed last time I was on the show. Like just because you're not Aaron Donald doesn't mean you're not an elite player. It doesn't mean you're not an excellent player. But like when you look at the Jeffrey Simmons, the Dexter Lawrence, the Quinnen Williams, the Chris Joneses of the world, they're a little better pass rushers than Christian Wilkins is. Or in Dexter Lawrence's case, a 6'5", 350-pound behemoth. You know, we all talk about Jordan Davis. Like Dexter Lawrence was Jordan Davis before Jordan Davis is. I covered him at Clemson. He's to this day the biggest human being I've ever seen. So like there might have been some hesitancy to say like you deserve to be paid more than those guys or you should make more than them entering the offseason. But all those guys are signed now. You're worth what the market says you're worth. And the market right now is at a certain point. It's at that 18, 19, 20, 21 million a year range. It is what it is. You waited too long to get something done, whoever's fault it was. It is what it is. That's what the market is right now. Yeah. But like, what have I been saying also for the past, year, ever since they started bringing in guys like Tyreek, guys like Teron, guys like Bradley Chubb, like Jalen Ramsey. Now, like your 4 highest profile players, none of them are homegrown. These are the highest paid players on your team. None of them are homegrown. They all deserve their money. But like, what does it say if a guy that you drafted, basically like the cornerstone of this new era of your defense, guy you drafted, and you bring in 4 guys, pay them out the you-know-what, and don't take care of your homegrown guy? That is the danger of paying guys that aren't homegrown. They've done a good job here in Miami over the past year and not seeping into the locker room and that not being a problem. But the situation has never arisen yet. It hasn't. This is the first time that they've gotten the opportunity to take care of one of their own while also paying, these free agents, these trade targets. You can technically, I guess, count Emmanuel Ogbah last offseason as well. He's not exactly homegrown, but he had been there for he's been here for a couple of years. Like the precedent is set. It's just I don't see it happening. Like I don't see them not paying him. But if they for some reason don't or drag their feet, or then I could.
No, it's catastrophic. It's catastrophic. Yeah, it's catastrophic. Yeah, you pay Udonis Haslam, you pay Christian Wilkins, you pay those kind of players that mean more to your franchise than just being a good player. So I'm with you 100%. All right, we'll wrap it up with this. Best fight of the last week: Diaz and Paul or Ramsey and Chow?
That's funny. I didn't actually watch Diaz and Paul because I just
neither did I.
I didn't think Nate Diaz was going to take it seriously, and all the clips I've seen, he did not take it seriously. So I'm going to go.
I talked to a couple of guys that know a hell of a lot more than I do about MMA, and they told me they thought Paul was going to win because Nate is not a good boxer. And so if they were grappling, then it'd be a different ball game. So now that he wants to grapple and go into the octagon, that's where Nate Diaz might win. But a lot of guys told me that they didn't think Nate Diaz would win because they didn't think he was much of a boxer. And the thing is that, this kid Paul can actually box him. And so that's what ended up hurting him. But what'd you think of the battle between Ramsey and Chow?
It's very interesting. It's very interesting because like a lot of people do not like David Chow.
That's funny.
He has a past. I encourage everybody to go Google it. so that I don't get, he does have a habit of, threatening legal action if you discuss what he did, the specifics. So I just encourage y'all to Google Dr. David Chao, CHAO, and see for yourself what his history is. But yeah, I would take offense to good on Jalen Ramsey. I'd be mad too if I got I don't know, man. If I had like a wrist surgery or hand surgery, and somebody who was not involved in this world directly says, I don't know if he's going to come back and be the same.
Well, he actually is involved in this world. He's sports medicine, dude, and they ask him, just like Stefania Bell does the same shit. Just what's the other one that's out there? There's a couple of those kind of. And what's the difference between David Chao and Marcel Louis-Jacques? Doesn't Marcel Louis-Jacques have an opinion on Liam Eichenberg that he can't play?
Hey,
what's the difference?
Marcel Louis-Jacques doesn't speak on injuries that he doesn't know the technicalities and ins and out of.
Nobody can speak on it unless you're a real doctor checking the injury. But unfortunately, since they're not going to allow us in there, speculation is the game.
You can speak on it all you want. That is the beauty of the First Amendment. You can speak on it all you want. It's the freedom of speech is a protection from persecution, not from consequences or response. Okay. So he can say all he wants. Jalen Ramsey can also respond and clap.
Okay. But Chao is just as entitled to an opinion about it. He might be wrong.
I didn't say he wasn't allowed to speak his opinion. I'm saying good on Jalen Ramsey for clapping right back, because he is entitled to speak his response as well.
Sure.
But I love it. I love it.
But he is worthy of talking about this, because if you're not going to give us the real information and you're just going to keep it general, well, then we now have to go to experts, and he is a doctor, and maybe he's treated these kind of injuries before, and he's seen how the average athlete responds to it, and that's what he's talking about, which I don't think I have a problem with that. We all know there are freaks. We all know there are guys that will heal faster than others. Like we watched Terrell Owens, with the Eagles in, 7, 8, 9 weeks or something stupid like that he broke his foot, I think it was, or something. And he was, I don't know what it was, foot, leg, whatever it was. But the dude was back and had like 140 yards in the Super Bowl and 10 catches or something. Some guys can heal quickly, and then some guys take forever.
Have you read the stories about why he is not currently with a team?
I totally understand that. I totally understand.
I'm not going to go to a journalist who's been.
Then again, I would never hire Mike Tannenbaum. Listen, I would never hire Mike Tannenbaum for anything in football, and yet they have him on ESPN talking football. And that's the last guy that I would take an opinion on talent.
I think apples to oranges there, because there's a punctured lung involved, there's an amputated leg involved, and then there's like I stuck by Ryan Tannehill for a little too long. Like I don't think that.
I don't know. Hey, he drafted Sanchez and then re-signed him to a long-term deal. That's almost as catastrophic as a punctured lung. Okay, I just want you to know that.
The AFC title game, like
no. Love it, but that defense and the running game got them to the AFC title.
They got to an NFC. They got to the title game with Sanchez. They got to them.
They got to two of them. Two of them.
But no, I think that, and as Edwin Robles says, we forgot Tim Anderson versus what's his name, Jose Ramirez.
There you go. That was nice. All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out?
I got a story coming out on Tua, Tua's offseason coming, I think, Monday. Going to get the final touches on that this weekend and have that out for you guys. Excited to share what his offseason looked like. Beyond that, man, football is back. It's your only chance to see the Dolphins at home until September 26th, right?
Right.
Until September 26th, give or take. So, if you are around Friday night, you don't have plans, show up and be loud. Like, especially, I just saw the Eagles got like 50,000 at their scrimmage, like at their practice in the stadium the other night. if you're tired of all these other fan bases shitting on you guys and like saying like they don't care, show up Friday night, man. Show out, have fun. It's the only time, like you said, you get to see this team at home for a month and a half. Let's have a fun environment there. Like, I'm excited to cover football again.
I'm with you there, bro. And follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Marcel, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Yes, sir. On ESPN Radio tonight, 9 p.m., 1 a.m.
Oh, nice. There you go. 9 p.m., 1 a.m. Support my man. There you go. I'll listen to you when I get out of the Ultra Bridge concert tonight here in Quebec.
All right, bro,
baby.
have fun.
Be good. There you go. Marcel, Louis-Jacques, Welt Rheaume, man, 954-966-4646. We're in hurricane season. I want you to save that number because you may need Dan or Jeff. By the way, Dan is going to join us next week, probably Thursday, and we're going to talk about that new law that DeSantis passed, which puts you at a disadvantage. And he's going to explain why it puts us, the consumer, at a disadvantage. And he's given the governor, unfortunately, he's given the insurance companies a little bit more power. He'll explain that on Thursday. So just in case, if you have damage to your home or business, condo, all those kind of things are different now. The laws have changed, and it kind of puts us at a disadvantage, unfortunately. Dan will explain that to us on Thursday. But listen, if you need lawyers that know how to get it done, they're in Hollywood. They take care of anybody in South Florida. They've got offices in the Keys also. Welt Rheaume. Call Jeff Welt, Daniel Rheaume. They are amazing people, and they can handle a lot of things from bankruptcy, all kinds of personal injury, damage to your home or condo from weather or anything else, vandalism. You call Welt Rheaume. 954-966-4646.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.